Hi, welcome to the Three Times Podcast. Today I'm talking to Hexham singer-songwriter Marshall Nattrass. In his long career he's played in several bands, but he's been a solo singer for many years and is now a well-established performer in the festivals, pubs and bars of Northumberland and Tyneside. Marshall's music draws on the romance and lived experience of Americana to tell tales of heartbreak, redemption, love and hope.
Well, she works on a trailer out on the West Road, selling burgers and fries and coffee to go. And she talks to the truckers and the traffic cops, could give you direction should you ever get lost. Some, yeah, she's got some. She's got some dreams of her own.
Marshall Nattrass, thank you for agreeing to be talked at in Three Times Podcast. Welcome.
No problem, thanks for having us.
How would you describe the type of musician that you are and the type of music that you play?
Singer-songwriter, originals, my favourite, with an Americana country rock kind of twist to it all. It's all influences feeding in from that them types of genre, yeah.
Yeah, and who would be your influences?
Growing up, early days, it was huge Bon Jovi fan. Mm-hmm. Richie Sambora, the guitarist from Bon Jovi. He was probably the main reason why I got into playing guitar. I wanted Dead or Alive, that song, I heard that and I thought, oh, that's really cool, and so I wanted to play guitar since I heard that song. And then it moved on to the likes of John Mellencamp, Bruce Springsteen, Tom Petty, and then the last few years it's been the country scene in America, Keith Urban, Kip Moore, Matt Jordan, and type of guys, the country guys with a bit rock and roll behind them.
What is it that appeals to you with this kind of music?
I think there's an energy there, but there's also lyrics there. There's a high energy rock and roll vibe to it all, but the lyrics have a meaning. Like it's good stories behind them, and they're told really well. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Americana's quite popular, isn't it, in this part of the world? What do you think it is that makes it so popular for people?
Relatable, possibly. There's a lot of everybody has a connection, a story they can relate to from the songs.
So, and when you're writing, where do you get your inspiration from?
Television, books, coffee shops. Sometimes it's a line in a book or a line I hear, and sometimes it's just a visual I have in my head. Like I said before, like an old sepia picture of a letter there, and on the dresser with a sorry written on the front or a goodbye, and yeah.
So you see something or an object or you hear a phrase and then you want to build a story from it.
Yeah. Yep.
So that's it's the concept and the idea before the music comes to you.
It tends to be yeah. I'll have a title. If I can have a title, I tend to be able to work from there, and then I'll work some lyrics and then find a melody on the guitar.
Yeah.
And sometimes they come really well, and sometimes they take a really long time.
And do you have a process about how you do that?
It's just happens. I can't sit down and say, right, I'm going to write for an hour. I can't do that. I'll sit down and say, right, I'm going to try and write something, if it happens, it happens, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. I'll try cups of tea and have a cup of tea, have a break, maybe just go for a walk and come back. But if it's not there, it's not there. And sometimes it'll be another few weeks before I come back, and then it'll be there. Other times I'll sit down and within half an hour I've got 95% of the song done. Tends to be them ones that not more proud of. I'm proud of them all, but the quicker ones tend to be the
more natural,
and the more enjoyable to play. And maybe because I haven't had to work so hard to write them sometimes. But that's not always true. Some of the things, the hard ones are.
Yeah. I've heard a few people say that the songs that come quickest out of the blue are the ones that they're most fond of.
That's true. That's maybe what I was trying to say. Yeah. Probably. There's a song I've got called "Letter on the Dresser," and that just came straight away. That was the visual I had, and I had an image in my head. It was an old sepia photograph, and it was just a letter on the dresser. And I thought, oh, that's a title. Sat down, got some lyrics together, came up with the melody line, and it just flowed. Mm-hmm. And that one was meant for me. I think it was John Lennon's quote that they're all out there. Songs are out there.
Yeah.
And sometimes you've just got to be switched on in receiving them.
Yeah.
And I think that one was for me, that one.
Yeah. Another thing that songwriters say is that they often, if not always, wake up at about 3 or 4 in the morning composing a song. Does that happen to you as well?
I've got notes on my phone, and I have a line that I haven't finished the song or started a song, but it's called 3 a.m. Muse. So that 3 a.m. is obviously the songwriter's thing. It doesn't really happen to me. I've never woken with a melody in my head, but if I have, I've never got up and written it down. Mm-hmm. I'm just too lazy for that, because I've got to go to work in the morning. It's not like when Paul McCartney does it. He's just I don't need to go to work so I can get up at 3 o'clock and start writing music. But I don't know if my neighbours would be happy about that.
And could you write it down in notation, or would you have to play it into a phone to record it?
I've got to play it in the phone and record it. Yeah. That's the power of modern technology, really. You know, it's all there. They're a great notepad phones.
There's a letter on the dresser, written in your hand. An old shirt on the blanket box you used to wear to bed. Earrings, oh so many things, the smell of your perfume. It gets me every time I walk in the room. Where we made love, where we made up, we promised to never end. The nights turned into morning and we'd get up who knows when. Now there's just an empty space where you used to lay. I get up, fill my coffee cup, and get on with my day. 'Cause there's a trail of broken hearts in the review of my life. The road has left its lessons and its scars. It might have worked out wrong, but at the time it felt so right. And there's a trail of broken hearts, and they're all mine. Cafe out on Main Street, closed the day you left. The dog's been whining and howling at the moon. Now the stars don't seem to shine so bright, I can't seem to get it right. I don't know what to do. 'Cause there's a trail of broken hearts in the review of my life. The road has left its lessons and its scars. It might have worked out wrong, but at the time it felt so right. 'Cause there's a trail of broken hearts, and they're all mine. letter on the dresser, smell of your perfume, the old shirt on the blanket box, the dogs howling at the moon. And there's a trail of broken hearts in the review of my life. The road has left its lessons and its scars. A trail of broken hearts in the review of my life. The road has left its lessons and its scars. It might have worked out wrong, but at the time it felt so right. 'Cause there's a trail of broken hearts, and they're all mine. They're all mine.
So going back to the time that you first picked up an instrument, it was the guitar, was it? That was your first?
Yeah.
And what kind of guitar was that?
Oh my goodness, I bought it. It wasn't even branded. I bought it off a friend for tenner. My older brother played, and with that guitar, it never really vibed. It never happened. And then the older brother, he went down south, and maybe a year or two later, I followed him, and he had his guitar down there, and I had no other distractions other than a bit of work. And that's when I learned guitar. Scarborough Fair, I think it was.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that your inspiration was somebody well known for playing very flashy electric guitar.
Yeah.
But you developed on acoustic guitar.
Yeah. It was the song "Wanted Dead or Alive," the intro to that,
Right.
and that really hooked with it. Got me ear and hooked, and I loved it. I loved the intro, but I do love a good solo. I never quite mastered electric guitar, the whole science behind the solo, and I can do a little bit, but not proficient enough to play live.
Mm-hmm.
So I always get other musicians in if I want good solos going on.
Yeah, and the acoustic guitar is a better accompaniment to a song that tells a story, I think.
I remember I was doing a buskers once, and it was cover songs I was playing, and this rock and roll guitarist, I remember he said to me, he says, why do all you acoustic players do sad songs? And I'm thinking, well, that's what the acoustic guitar tells a story, and there's a lot of sad stories, unfortunately, like so, but then the acoustic guitar relays it really well.
That is something about Americana, isn't it? That there's a sort of romantic melancholy about it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Is that? I'm not trying to be a psychologist here, but is that your kind of view of the life that you want to talk about? I'm not saying it's your life or any life that you see around you, but is it the kind of life that you want to talk about?
Yeah, I guess so. Unconsciously, yeah. Maybe like I say, it's not a conscious thing. It's just maybe it's how I see the world, like you say. And the acoustic guitar relays that message.
Yeah.
And gets my tunes out there and my thoughts and just how I see the world, maybe, yeah.
So how did your career evolve from you learning Scarborough Fair?
I came back up north, and there was a guy called Ali Ray. He taught me "Every Rose Has Its Thorn," which is another rock and roll song, but it was when late 80s when power ballads, and that was a power ballad, and I loved that one. And Ali's a local muso, and I became very friendly with him, and we did gigs together. I used to open up for him, and that was the solo thing. And then I did a lot of bands. I did the whole band thing in front of the band, played the rhythm guitar, did play lead guitar for a while, albeit not too well, but yeah, I was there. Gigged a few times. As bands do, they tend to fall apart. There was just me and a guitarist left, my friend Stevie, and we did duo gigs, did a lot of duo gigs, and then he moved down south and it was just me and with my guitars, so it was just solo from then on, just on my own.
And what kind of venues were you playing?
Just local bars, I did the Queen's Hall, yeah, just local bar stuff, yeah, bar gigs, done all the bar gigs, club gigs,
And is that where you're still at now? You're still playing the same venues?
No, not at all. It's all changed again. It's tends to be niche venues where I can play my original material. I don't get the same buzz from playing covers anymore. I'm not dissing anybody who plays covers. It's all, I think there's room for everybody. But I've done my time there, and I'd rather play a songwriter gig for nothing than get paid 100, 150 to do covers. I'd rather have my own music out there.
Yeah. And are there gigs for songwriters?
There are one or two, they're few and far between. We've got Olsen Live, my Uncle Paff, they give me an opportunity to play my stuff. There's Rico at the White Room Cafe, Music Cafe in Stanley. Johnny Boyle, with songwriter evenings, he gives the opportunity to. They're out there, but they're few and far between.
Mm-hmm. As a seasoned musician, should we say, of many years standing and considerable experience, what advice would you have for somebody who is writing their own songs and wants to go out and have their music heard?
Buskers evenings. Mm-hmm. Learn some covers, but learn your originals and slot them in. You'll find them, they'll be out there. The Buskers guys do. A lot of them do like the original material. With a Buskers evening, you're playing for free, so you get to play what you want to play, and the audience, the majority of the time, are acceptable.
Any that you recommend?
Locally to the Hexham area, you've got the Crown at Hum's Half, where Callum Tordoff runs that one. We've got Johnny at Blues and Bourbon in Newcastle. That's total songwriters, that's original evening, that one, that's all originals. He also runs in concert at the Grey Horse, like a songwriters evening, where you can go just play. It's all unplugged, it's all original material. We just sit in a songwriter circle, everybody's quiet and you get to play your songs and everybody listens and all receptive.
So there's a lot of interest in people playing their original stuff. So it's not as if people say, if you play originals, then you've got to be a major success for somebody to pay any interest to you. There are people out there who will listen.
There are people out there who will listen, yeah. And like you say, your peers do, and there's advice there, and I've learned a lot from watching the other guys and girls play, and yeah, it's worth it getting out there and sticking with your original material if that's the route you want to take.
Yeah, but for many gigs, would you say that it's reasonable to expect that an audience often wants to hear covers?
Oh yeah,
at least part of the set.
If you're playing pubs and clubs, they'll want covers. They want songs they want to know.
Yeah.
There was a guy on Facebook the other day who was saying he was carrying his guitar, so you got asked if he plays any Oasis. Obviously, if it was, do you play Oasis? And the guy says, no, I write original material. And the guy's reply was, oh, you mustn't be very good. And it's like, wow, that's a bit harsh, isn't it? You know what I mean? Just because you can't play Don't Look Back in Anger, you're no good at playing an instrument. But the guy's a great singer-songwriter, and it's people's mentality. It's like what they want to hear when you go to a pub. People are having a good time, they're having a jump, they're having a jive, and they want covers, which is fair enough. And there's a market there, and there's bands there to fill that market. But it's just nice if there was a few more avenues for the original material, which there is, but they're out there, but obviously they're hard to find.
Yeah, it's also a question that's come up with other people that I've spoken to about the way people listen to music and what they expect from it. It's often said these days that people use music as an accessory, so they're doing something like they're doing the ironing or mending the car or going for a run or whatever, and they're listening to music, but they're doing something else.
Yeah.
And the music is an accessory to it. So it's as though if music is going to serve that function for them, it has to do so without demanding too much.
Yeah.
So if it's a song that they know, like a Springsteen classic, then they'll think, oh, I'm listening to music, I know that, I don't have to pay too much attention, but I get in the entertainment value from it.
Yeah.
But if you come up with one of your originals, they're thinking, oh, what's this? And suddenly they're distracted from their other activity. So I'm wondering whether we're in a situation now where, because of the way that music is all over the place and used in many different ways, but usually as an accessory, then it is kind of limiting for people who want to get original work out there. And that's the hurdle to overcome. If you can overcome that and acquire such a status that people will seek you out and hear you on the radio and become familiar with your stuff, then that's great. But it's kind of a steep hill to climb, isn't it?
It's a very, very steep hill, and there's not the ladders there anymore, the roads leading to it. It's really, really difficult to get to that. And I think, as you say, music is different now. It used to be a listening experience. It used to be you get your vinyl, you'd put it on, and you'd sit down and you'd listen to that in its entirety. Now, it's you put Spotify on, you put it on a mix on a random, and you're always around doing your housework while the music's bringing away, and you're not really listening to it. Well, music has changed on the listening experience front as well, and the style of music it's all quick intros and 3-minute hits now. I think they're reducing the length of tunes now because people's attention span are. They say,
and you've got to start with the chorus, they say, too, don't they?
To bang it in, draw them in, and it's really quick.
She's got some, she's got some, she's got some dreams of her own. Well, our old man left about 5 years ago. Yeah, he left her to bring the kids up on her own. He took the car and the cash and the last cigarettes. He left the dead and the dirt in his whiskey breath. And she's got some. She's got some.
So how do you get your music over to people? Say you've done a gig and some people have listened to your stuff.
I do have CDs, which it's a difficult format. You generally just give them away. You just get them, you've got them. Would you like one? Yeah. And but also let them know that I'm on platforms, Spotify, your Amazons, your iTunes, your YouTubes. So it's all out there. Yeah. So there is places to listen to if people want to troll through and find us.
But all that requires some commitment, doesn't it? Some financial.
It is. Commitment. Yeah, it is. It was weird the other day. Because I'm in the process of finishing an album. Just finished the vocals last week, and I did question myself: why do I do it? It's cost us a lot of money. And I'm thinking to myself, I love this letter on the dresser, and it deserves a video. So I'm thinking, I'll put something together and I'll get a video together, and borrowed my friend's cottage, and I'm thinking, and then I was like, why do I do this? That's more money. And I'm thinking because I guess I'm living the dream on my level. It's a hobby to me, and it's a hobby I love, and it's a release, and I need to get the songs out there, and I need to get my music out there, whether 3 people listen to it or 33 people or 333. It's as long as it's being heard. Yeah, so everything's there, and I think it's worth pursuing from a level, whether you're going to climb that up to the precipice and get over to getting millions of streams, which we never will. But you just got to keep on plugging away and doing what you do, and you see, it's a hobby to me. So.
It is a difficult thing to explain to somebody, isn't it? That songwriters have, and they have an urge to write their stuff, and some of those people are also performers, and they have an urge to perform it so that people can hear it.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, there's a further need to put it out there so that people can listen to it, even though it's very difficult to get their attention. So people like yourself go through jump all these hurdles to get their stuff out there. What feedback do you get about it?
Generally really, really good. Yeah. I think once people get to listen to you, they do enjoy it. they do like it. Whoever you are, then they'll find you, and if it's their engineer in their bag, and they listen, and like friends and family and people I've met out in the pubs, and I've played, the finders, the likers, and it builds, yeah. So yeah, there's the Vault in Hexham as well. That's a really good venue if you can get in there with Ben and the songwriters evenings, originals, and it's the same with the White Room, and you play there, and they're listening, and you're chatting, and you're playing, and it's just everybody's focused on you, and it's just a buzz. It is a buzz, because the song Letter on the Dresser, there's just a total dropout where it's quiet, and I couldn't hear a pin drop, and they were listening, and then you fire up the tune again, and that's always a buzz, and I think after you've played and chatted and mentioned your Spotify, you see the hits lift and the plays, so they do seek you out, some of them, and have a listen.
You don't do any marketing above and beyond that, like you don't do Facebook ads and Insta ads and all that kind of stuff?
Just on my Facebook page, just played here, but no, I don't push it.
Since I've been doing this podcast, I've been to lots more local gigs than I ever did before, and one thing I do enjoy about it is that people will sit and listen and not talk.
Yeah, come to listen. It's a night out, but it's not a loud night. They've come to listen to the music and appreciate.
Yeah. So you mentioned that you're recording a new album. Tell us about that.
I guess it's evolved over the last couple of years, with songs off and on, finding inspiration, putting songs together. And the end of last year we had a little break, the mojo kind of waned, work and life got in the way, and then it's kind of picked up again. I had to give myself a crack the whip and say I need to finish this, and get it, and talk to the producer guy and say we need to wrap it up and get it going, get it out there. So yeah, it's nearly there.
Mm-hmm. And that raises another issue. How do you balance family commitments and your music?
It's really, really hard. It's tough. I've got work all day, filming, practicing, and then having a social life myself and getting out to gigs, and so yeah, it's a juggling act. It really, really is. But yeah, you work your way around it. Sometimes I get really tired and my mojo wanes, and I have a month or two off.
I think it's important to be able to do that though, and not to panic, isn't it? And to think that it's all over, and you can't do it anymore.
It's keep going, keep going, and family's important. And
so, when's your album out?
Hopefully, 4-6 weeks.
So that will be the end of June.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah. Got Alston live in July, and I would like it released by then. So, yeah.
And will you have CDs there?
Hopefully, yes, yeah. If I can get everything wrapped up and sorted, yeah.
And what's it called?
Ooh, there's two titles. There's two titles in the offing. I'm not quite sure yet. Tentatively, The Highway Gypsy or Vatican City Serenades.
Why Vatican City Serenades?
Because I grew up in Priestlands in Hexham, and there's Priestlands Crescent, Priestlands Road, Priestlands Avenue, St John's, St Luke's, St Mary's.
Oh, I see.
In the days of CB radio, it was called Vatican City, so it's kind of a homage back to my youth and Vatican City Serenades, because there's like memories and stuff from childhood there. So. And
the other title?
Highway Gypsy. It's kind of it's weird. It's not who I am. It's like it's on the guitar case, the Highway Gypsy. When I wanted a band again and started a band, it was going to be Marshall Nattrass and the Highway Gypsies, and it did kind of happen. And there is like the Highway Gypsies out there, and the guys who've played on the albums that kind of say, "Yeah, you're a gypsy, you're one of the gypsies," but it's like that we all are. There's a song I have called "Let's Run," and the line is, "None of us can know our destination. We're all just gypsies on the highway this called life." So we're all just gypsies on life's highway, really. So that's kind of where that comes from.
And do you want to talk about the band that you're in with Fred Sheriff? Or is that
it's still in the offing, yes. That's quite an interesting little thing. The Hoolies, the Alston guys, and having a bit of a change around, and me and Steve Sheriff have joined, and there's gigs in the lineup there, but we need to get together and get practicing again, because obviously we all have working lives as well. But it's coming, and that's really, really interesting. It's acoustic. There's a banjo player in, there's a fiddle player in, and electric guitar, acoustic guitars, and Fred on bass, and there's some interesting characters, and there's some good songs there. I think that'll be really good when we get it together and get it.
So that's going to be like 50s or 60s music, is it?
It's all originals.
Oh right, brilliant.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
all originals. Yeah. So there's 3 songwriters in there.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Marshall, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks, Steve, for having us. It's been a pleasure.
Great.
Cheers, man.
I got my hopes and dreams in this pickup truck. Friends and family wishing me good luck. A million miles of memories and these tattoos. And there's a girl back home whose heart does miss me. I toast her smile with a shot of whiskey. Hey girl, working till our dreams come true. Travel every highway, they all keep coming back to you. And there's a bar I play out in the city. The welcome's warm, but it ain't so pretty. Filled with troubadours and gypsies and lost souls with cases full of dreams. And now I saddle up when the moon she rises. Like a beacon shines, her light does guide me. Dashboard glow for company, rolling on to pastures new. Traveled every highway, they all keep coming back to you. You let me do it my way, and I'll always roll on back to you. Yeah, I've traveled every highway, and they all keep coming back to you.
Thanks for listening to the 3 Times podcast. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Please subscribe and tell your friends about us.